The White House will be the scene for a high-stakes encounter later today as talks continue on raising the debt ceiling. Washington could run out of money to pay its own debts by the end of the month, and that could take the American economy over a fiscal cliff, but also drag other economies down with it. Joe Biden and congressional leaders are set to sit down for talks at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Magda Gabriselesi is in Washington with the details.
So the U.S. reached the debt limit, which is $31.4 trillion back in January. And to keep paying the bills, the Treasury Secretary leaned on some temporary accounting maneuvers. Meanwhile, you had Biden that was calling on Congress to raise the debt limit. Now, he and Kevin McCarthy actually met for the first time to talk about all of this in February, but nothing came out of that meeting. And now here we are, as early as June 1st, you have the U.S. at risk of defaulting on its debt. So why haven't they figured this out by now? Well, Biden, until now, has been blaming the Republicans. Take a listen.
We're trying to hold the debt hostage to us to agree to some draconian cuts, magnificently difficult and damaging cuts. But I'll get into that in a little bit. But unfortunately, they're threatening to undo all this progress by letting us default.
And Republicans have been blaming Biden. So House Leader McCarthy got a bill to increase the debt limit passed in the House last month, but that came with conditions like slashing spending and putting work requirements on some social programs. Now, here's what McCarthy had to say at that time.
So the Democrats are putting the country in jeopardy. The president, by ignoring to even negotiate. No one in America believes there's not one place that you can't find a place that you could have savings in what Washington spends. And I think it's up to them now.
Now, on the Senate side, Leader Chuck Schumer said that that bill died on arrival. And so you've got the White House saying that the debt ceiling needs to be dealt with, but it needs to happen without strings attached.
Magda, when it comes to a debt ceiling, this is not the first time the U.S. has cut it so close. What are the chances that it could default?
Yeah, they cut it close back in 2011. So the U.S. was within 3 days of defaulting on its debt. And even then, there were consequences. You had the country's credit rating that was downgraded. The stock market dipped as well. So many are wondering, is history going to repeat itself, or will it be even worse? Take a listen to what this economist had to say.
And if we're coming to the deadline and they're still at an impasse, my guess is that they'll find a way to extend the time limit and give themselves more time to talk.
So with this meeting now, this time around, not only will you have Biden and McCarthy participating in this conversation, you will have the other congressional leaders taking part in the conversation today, Hannah.
Magda Gabriselesi in Washington.